One of the goals of our channel is to help and inspire people to retire earlier, to travel more, and live their best retirement lives with no regrets. Now, we recently did a community poll on YouTube and asked people, how much do you plan to travel in retirement? And the results weren't that surprising. You know, almost half the people want to travel 3 months or more each year. Travel is a big part of retirement for most people. And we know that not having enough money saved for retirement is a big barrier to prevent that lifestyle. So we recently sat down with our professional certified financial advisors, Julia and Erik, and we asked them, you guys have many clients. What are the 5 most common retirement planning mistakes that you see people making that prevent them from living the life that they want to in retirement? And here's what they told us.
We're John and Bev, and we are the Retirement Travelers.
During the last 3+ years of retirement, Bev and I have been traveling all over 72 countries across 6 continents. Now, we're currently in Hanoi, Vietnam. Now, in addition to our YouTube channel, we also have a website. So be sure to check out our website, sign up for the newsletter, and hopefully you'll gain some information about the places that we've been to. Now, obviously, we keep a pretty busy schedule with all this going on, and the last thing we have time to do is manage all of our financial planning. So that's where we leave it up to the professionals. Now, we're very blessed to have Erik and Julia managing all of our financial assets and retirement planning process. We know that they're always just a phone call or email away. So no matter where we're at in the world, they are there to help us. Now, we're going to put a link below in the description. I'm sure they could probably help you as well if you're looking for retirement planning help. So check them out, URS Advisory. So the number one thing they mentioned is not rocket science, okay? It is spending too much. And I had to chuckle when I saw that, because I think all of us have done it. I mean, if you look back throughout your lives, I think all of us have spent money on things that we didn't need, you know, boats, houses, cars, whatever. It's a very easy thing to fall into. So let's get into a little bit more detail about what they mean by spending too much. So let's take a look at your net take-home pay. So your after-tax pay. Conventional wisdom says that about 65% of your expenses are necessary things, mortgage, food, groceries, rent, whatever, things like that. There's another, say, 20% that are more discretionary spending, vacations and things that you don't necessarily have to have. And people save about 15%. That's kind of conventional wisdom. Now, if you want to retire earlier and travel more, you need to adjust your thought a little bit, okay? You need to take that basic spending from 65% down to about 50%. You need to take the discretionary spending from 20 to 15, that puts you at 65. And what that leaves is 35% for savings. If you can take your expenses out of your net pay and go from about 85% to 65%, that is a huge enabler to give you the funds to be able to save for earlier retirement and more travel that I know you want to do. The number 2 mistake is simply not saving enough. Now, I know that's kind of an extension of number 1, but if you remember, I said the target should be 35% of your after-tax pay. That is how much you want to save. And we're not talking when you're 56 years old. We're talking from a very young age. You really need to adopt a lifestyle of shooting for 35%. And that's pretty much what they told us, that people don't adopt the lifestyle of saving that much. Now, the next question is, once you set aside 35% of your after-tax pay, what do you do with it? Well, the first thing is always an emergency fund. And that's a 6 to 12 months of money that you can access through a high yield account that's easily accessible. Again, 6 to 12 months of living expenses you need to set aside for emergency fund. The next thing you need to fund with your savings is your 401k or retirement plan at work. Always max that out. Get the company match. Put it in a Roth IRA if you can. The next thing you can do is fund a Roth IRA separately if you can as well. You want to utilize the HSAs if you have a high deductible health plan. HSA is a great planning vehicle, which I'll talk about later, but definitely max that out each year. Very important. If you have any money left over in that 35%, you can put them in after-tax funds after that. But 35% is critical if you want to retire early and travel more. The third thing they told us is people don't fully utilize their health savings accounts as financial vehicles. Now, HSAs or health savings accounts are kind of the holy grail of investments. They are amazing. They're used to set aside money for medical expenses throughout your life, but they're really a tremendous savings vehicle. What you can do is you can put $7,700 a year in as a family. When you're past 50, you can put $8,700 a year, and they really have triple impact from taxes. They are deductible when you put them in, they grow tax deductible, and you can even withdraw them tax-free if you use them for medical expenses. We recommend not using these and saving them as much as possible until retirement. In fact, when you're over 65, you can use them for anything. You would have to pay taxes on them after age 65, but if you use them for medical expenses, it's even tax-free then. So they are an amazing vehicle. They're kind of like a Roth IRA on steroids. So if you're not fully maximizing your HSA, start now. The fourth item they told us is people keep too much money in cash, or in other words, you're simply too conservative with their investment strategies. If you want to retire early and travel the world, you've got to take some risks and be a little bit more aggressive with your investment strategies throughout your life. So let's talk about how to minimize the risk and still accomplish this. Well, the first thing you need to do is fund that emergency fund. And that's really the money that you would need within, say, a present time to 5-year time frame. You want to keep 6 to 12 months of expenses in cash, high yield savings accounts, that sort of thing, where you could easily access it. The next bucket that you want to put money into, we'll call the 5 to 15 year. And that's kind of balanced funds, where you look at stocks and bonds and other vehicles that are slightly lower risk, but still you're going to get a return out of. And that's kind of the balanced area. The last bit is where you get really aggressive, okay? 15 years and out, the money that you don't need for 15 years and out, you can get aggressive with stocks, commodities. That's where you've got to take some risk. And the reason I say that, if you look at any 15-year history of the S&P 500, there's never been a losing 15-year span throughout history. So we feel pretty good about, being much more aggressive with the money that you don't have. So the key things you have here is don't get too conservative and put your money in 3 different buckets. Stuff you need now, stuff you need 5 to 15 years, and invest more aggressively with the 15-year and out. If you do that throughout your whole life, much higher chance of retiring early and traveling the world. The fifth thing they told us was thinking too small. And what I mean by that is, are you dreaming big in retirement about how to use your skills and knowledge that you've acquired over your entire lifetime? Now, one of the ways that you can retire earlier and travel more and live a better retirement life is to generate some income in retirement. They've been called side hustles and part-time work and all kinds of things, but now is the time to really utilize your passion. What are the things you love to do? What are the things you're good at? Can you marry some of those things and start generating retirement income, have some fun, travel more, and take some of the burden off of your retirement savings? So that's really what they mean and we mean by think bigger in retirement. There's so many opportunities. Look at us. We are traveling the world. We're trying to generate some extra income with a YouTube channel, with a website, and we've met so many people throughout our travels, both RV travel and world travel, where people are doing side hustles. They are teaching English, they're writing a blog, they're helping people do things all over the world, they're working remotely. I guess the point is the sky is the limit. There are so many opportunities out there, and we're going to challenge you to think about what are your skills, what are your passions, and how can you improve your retirement position by utilizing those skills and talents. So in conclusion, this is our side hustle. Be sure to hit subscribe and sign up for our newsletter. We really appreciate it and it helps us out. Now you're probably wondering, did Erik and Julia approach us to do this video? Absolutely not. We just wanted to share our experience with having great financial planners and really to tell them how important they are for us to be able to live this kind of lifestyle. They pretty much handle everything for us. They go above and beyond to help us out. So if you're looking for retirement planners that you can trust, Erik and Julia are certainly that. Thanks, guys. We really appreciate it. Be sure to hit subscribe and follow along on our retirement journey around the world.